Well, the first week was so fun, let's do it again. As my throat tries to slowly ease itself into the broadcast, AutoRacingConnected returns for the second week of the ARC Group 3 Masters Championship. That's not part of the acronym. I set my alarm an hour later than I had planned to, so I basically woke up, jumped out of bed, went to the bathroom, came back down, and immediately got onto the game to not do that. To do commentary, so my voice is not warmed up yet, we'll say. So if I sound a little goofy, there's your explanation. It should go away by the end of the race. Probably by the end of the first race, actually. Are we about done, Darius? Gary, I wouldn't recommend qualifying on mediums. Don't be fooled by this lobby's size. We have, I think we're sending like 3 or 4 cars home. Let me double check the size of the other party. So the two parties account for 19 people. So, yeah, we are sending 4 cars home, or at least we should be, unless there are just people in the party who aren't racing, which would be kind of weird. Only I'm allowed to do that. Got it. Blew my nose like 3 times for starting the stream, and it feels like nothing came out. AJA with his signal or his hazards on for some reason. Oh, now they're off. He will be the first car to begin a time lap here. I was gonna say laps are noticeably shorter here. Not really. My brain is still stuck on Bathurst from the end of. Or no, that was. Yeah, that is. Yeah. Can you tell I'm not awake yet? Yeah, it is stuck on Bathurst because that was the previous race. Duh. Quickly hustled down the Senna S's back straight away. Kind of short shifting, weirdly enough, by the looks of things. That or just that that's where the Supra's power band is, I don't really know, but. A quick right-hander. This track definitely requires 2 things. Good trail braking and good traction out of low-speed turns. If you got those 2 things, you're probably good. Some cars do those 2 things better than others, though. Final turn, as I try to basically shake myself awake. What is the first lap of this lobby session? It feels very underwhelming only watching 8 cars. 32.6. Immediately followed by Luke's 33.2, and then immediately toppled by Darius's 31.4. And then Adam Pelk with a 34.4. Pelk's teammate up to the line, going to be a similar lap time to his team owner, 34.7. That's not the... Is it? No, that's not his car. I thought Maher was a Vision driver, not a What did I miss here? Okay, well either way, he runs a 33-1, so he is the leading Porsche. But Stefan Robichaud, who was directly behind him, went faster with a 32-2. And Vladimirak is about 15 seconds away, hopefully, from being the last car to finish his time. I fear the Corvette may not be super great at the attributes that I mentioned a minute ago. It's really good on the brakes, but it's not so great on the way out. No, 33.5 though, so that's, you know, a solid time. I really can't say anything. Like, I don't really know what the other lobby is doing. He's ahead of 2 cars here. By law of averages, I would like to think he's also probably ahead of 2 cars in the other one, but you never know, because that lobby is where you're going to find all of the FR racing cars. I have to, like, specify that. Yeah, no, they're all FR, if they're not mid-agent. Oh boy. Sliding through turn 3 is Darius. He is one of only a couple of cars that didn't immediately head to the pits after finishing their first timed run. We'll see if that pays off. Oh, he's actually done a second timed run that I didn't even catch, but it was actually slower. Although it ironically would have still been a good enough run for pole at the current stage of at this current state of qualifying. He's very clearly pushing that thing like crazy. And he is only just in control of that car. I had to catch myself from calling it something that it isn't. So I'm just like, oh, we're just going to default to car. Gary improves a few tenths. 33.2. Still does not jump Luke Allen, who's only a 200ths quicker than him. Let's see if Darius has anything. He will pit. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Apologies, it was either I clear my nose or I lose my mind, so I chose to clear my nose. Deshaun Davis creeping up to the line for the last time. Very long run down the not so straight front straightaway, but it's all flat, especially in a GT3 car. No improvement though. I'm not surprised it's no improvement. It looked a little bit scruffy in places. Let's see what the Lexus driver can do. I imagine he's probably the only CL7 driver attending this week. Almost into the 32s. Finds a 200ths. Okay, I thought that was a bigger improvement than that, but I lost track of what his previous time had been. The pair of super drivers looking for any kind of answer to the pace of Darius in the Nissan. And so far, Robichaud is coming up with nothing. He is down on his previous time, and he needs to be massively up if he's going to get up there. We'll see if his teammate is having any better luck. Doesn't look like it, and almost looks like he about jumped off the circuit because of that thing's twitchy handling. Robichaud does gain time, but he's only gained a couple hundredths once again, so definitely needs to dig way deeper than that to gain 8/10ths if he's only going to find a 200ths. We'll see what his teammate does at the start-finish line. No improvement for the Canadian driver, but they'll both go again. Darius also on the track trying to further move the benchmark, but if I'm being honest, I don't know that he necessarily needs to do that. He's got a pretty massive margin. Oh, AJ has backed out of his lap, so he is done trying, but his teammate is heading through the middle sector. Final turn. We'll see if I have a sneaky suspicion he's not 8/10 up. I think he might be on course for an improvement, but he's not going to find 8/10 of a second. He found a quarter of a second, so a 32 flat for Robichaud. No improvement from Darius, but he did not need it. He will be the top time in this session. Being the top 4 in this session guarantees you make it through, regardless of how the other session does. And Ladimirak, apparently having just heard me, finds a sub 33, barely, but it is a 32.990, which puts him currently 4th, jumping Pat Maher and Luke Allen. Maher's session is over, Luke's isn't, but he is down by just shy of a 10th. And a little wide at the final turn will not assist him. Adam Pelk up to the finish line. Does he have countersteering assist on, or is that a visual bug? I think that's a bug. He finds a fair bit of time. Both of them, well, Luke didn't find that much. What are we looking at here? What is going on? That's not where Luke Allen is. And that is the end of the session, so... Ladimirak's the last second Euro. He jumps himself into guaranteed safety, putting himself a guaranteed 15th, if not better, because the other session, I mean, I don't know who's actually in the other session. I can only assume, like, Ridwan is. I would be surprised if Aiden's not there. I feel like the other session is just the faster one, but there are probably still slower people in that session too, so I don't know. We'll just have to wait several minutes and see. I've got half the mind to go to the bathroom while the starting grid is being arranged. Ugh, how about that airline food, huh? Jeez. This 3 minutes feels way longer because everybody got their laps done way quicker. I do hope that my dehumidifier in the room over isn't picking up too loudly. I know it probably is picking up, but you know, hopefully that the noise of the cars and such just drowns it out. I can't type this word. There we go. No tablet. I wanted championship, not champagne. I mean, they're kind of interconnected in the world of motorsport, but no. Yeah, this is going to be a very long week here for me. A very long stream, because, duh. I have the urge to use the bathroom. I was going to say it'd be hardly professional to just walk away and take care of the issue, but it's also unprofessional to be explaining that on the stream. So I don't know. I can't exactly win for losing in that way. They're also having to try and set up the constellation, so that's going to make this take a little longer. And that red one is on mediums. That's not the right button. What was that name I just saw? Speed Hunter. Oh boy. SNS has another new team? Great. Ah yes, the McDonald's Mercedes. If only you were a McLaren. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm spinning out. Jurgen's a little bit not connected. He's doing the sidewalk shuffle like Khan was last week. It seems there's always got to be somebody. I do not know Speed Hunter's actual name. No, Haddock's Colin was trying to qualify this time. Also, somebody named Dragon. I have no idea who that is. Jurgen's crossed the pit line. Come on. Get with the program here. Scratch the head. There we go. So now I got a more standard livery for Aston for FR Racing. I kind of missed the other one. Another look at it. I look at the FR Racing livery and my brain, well, other than their Scirocco from ATCC, but like their Group 3 race cars routinely look like the kind of designs I would expect to see on like a water bottle or something like that. Bit of a drift there from Ikonen. Well, Finns are usually pretty good at rally. Yeah, I don't have a name for Speed Hunter unless, I mean, I guess I can double check the roster. I probably should do that. No, the roster was finally posted like a couple of days after the first round at Bathurst. That is not the roster. That is stewarding. Let's see here. That was Adib. Adib was his name. But, he's not here this week. Mauritian, that is a nationality I've not heard of. For racing, anyway. I've barely heard of it in general, but definitely not as a person in a race. But yeah, I don't have a name for Speed Hunter. He has no nickname. Oh, that's not the racetrack. Oh, that's why. Okay, well, I think my voice is about caught up. Just about. Unfortunately, everything else is also caught up, so, you know. And this is going to be a much longer night, because we got 2 races, so. The Peruvian Regalado is on pole, immediately followed by Alexis Heredia, now with a livery on his car. Then it is Alexander Brown, after having served his race ban from the end of ATCC. Yoshi, Ridwan, starting 5th, that's a little bit lower than I expected. Jackson Altman, Darius in the Nissan, Speed Hunter. Let's call him Hunter, that sounds like a name. Nathan Jurgens jumping around like crazy. Jonas Itkinen with a really qualifying. Stefan Robichaud, AJ Knickel, Gary Lettermirak, Pat Maher, and Luke Allen is the 15th place car, as I was going to say. I'm just like, that doesn't sound right. I mean, it's correct, but it's not an interesting way to say it. Luke Allen rounds off the grid. So, yeah, I think we sent 2 cars home from... Yeah, we sent ECR home, basically. We sent 2 home from the session that we watched, and then 3 from the other. But yeah, also literally out of the top 10, only 1 of them came from our session, so that proves what I was saying, that all of the fast cars were in the second one. You have Darius in 7th, and then the next ones are literally just the bottom 4, or the bottom 4. 5, I can count. I guess we didn't completely send ECR home. Maher's the only one who's made the grid, but Adam and Deshaun failed. Along with Ajax Decolnis, some guy named Dragon, and unsurprisingly Kyle Boyles qualified last. So we sent 5 cars home. There was a 20th driver that I did not know about. They may very well not have been in a party, I'm not sure. So we are slowly inching towards the start-finish line. Whenever Regalado decides to go, we will go, and we will be green for Interlagos. From Interlagos, not for. Also noticeably, there's a concertina. People are getting smacked around. And that'll be, I think, waved off? No, I guess we're going. I don't know what was going on there. Regalado, definitely went and then just unwent. But I think somebody else went way before he did. Yoshi to the lead, as he takes advantage of the absolute madness at the start, but then he gets a huge wiggle out of turn 2 and 3 and relinquishes that. Never mind, we're just doing that again. Yeah, I'm not sure who, but it was somebody on the inside, somebody in the upper mid pack, someone possibly, I don't know, might have been Darius. Might have been Jurgens. Somebody jumped the gun, thinking that they had seen Rodrigo go. God, that's a weird sentence. Thinking that they had seen Rodrigo go. Go. Gonna break my own lips at this point. So I'd be kind of surprised if this is anything more than just a waved-off start. Oh, God. Sit back in my chair and my neck just tries to disconnect. That felt really not fun. So, I feel like okay, are they doubling up? Yeah, they're doubling up now, I think. No. Okay. Sorry, I did not have time to hit the mute button. I was mid-sentence when I realized we were, in fact, doubling up and getting ready to do that again. So I didn't have the time nor forethought to hit to the mute button on my on my controller. Alright, let's do this again. This time with a little less confusion and a little less damage to the cars. Once Rodrigo floors it, we will actually be green. And he is waiting basically until the start-finish line by the looks of it. There we go. This time we get away a little bit more cleanly. 3 wide in the middle of the pack. Everything's gotten at least 2x2 though by the time we get into the corner. Oh my god. Already massively out of control. The AMG looks so small next to the GTR. Oh my god. You have just the big boys in the top half. Oh, that is very argy-bargy. That camera's not helpful. Oh, Darius has moved Ridwan off of the circuit. Hunter will take advantage, get ahead of the Australian driver. It was very close quarters up at the front, but not many places were switched around, except Alexander Brown, who definitely lost big on lap 1 here. He's down 2, and he's under some threat from Darius. He may be en route to lose a third. And he actually, I think, defended a tiny bit going through this final hairpin. Actually, no. Is Junsawa a hairpin? I thought it was just a really tight left. I don't really call it a hairpin because it's not more than 110 degrees. Like the other corners that came before it. Darius right there on his tailpipe. He's going to go down the inside, and that is a lot of overspeed. That's going to be a done deal for the Canadian. Clear before we even think of braking. Never mind. Crossover attack from Alexander Brown, but it is not to be. Ooh, my ear itches again. Knickel up 1 place. 2 actually, no. He's ahead of his teammate, and he's overtaken the 15 here. The 15 who's doing the cha-cha slide, heading down towards T4. Robichaud not having the start he's looked for. Looks like now Brown is still under threat from Speed Hunter, who gets into the door of the GTR and basically pushes to pass. It's touring car racing, but that's also just uncouth. Short and sweet, making a very a reputation, I think I'll just say. Oh god, that cough was painful. So by getting shoved wide, that also allowed Ridwan to pass, so Brown is down 5 places from where he started the race, and he's only done 2 green flag laps. He did start on the mediums, which I don't think really helped his case, but then again, so did Ridwan. Up, camera broke. Okay, there we go. Cameraman got lost. What the heck? Overspeed is... are we under another safety car? Yeah, we are, but I missed something again. Oh, AJ Knickel is just dead. What in the world happened? I wasn't even looking back there because I didn't think there was really that much action going on back there, but all of a sudden I just see an arrow stopped on the map, and I look at AJ, and his car is literally in pieces. His engine has had maximum damage, which... that doesn't really happen unless you take, like, basically a career ender. Pretty much. Like, engine damage would have had to be, like, T-bone stationary car at least 120. Or, alternatively, head-on crash with a wall at about the same speed. Maybe about, maybe only 100 on that, but still. fairly quickly. The kind of collision that would definitely say, yeah, no, you're DNFing from this race, pal. Well, if we keep going at this rate with cautions, this sprint race will be longer than Bathurst's Enduro. I think it was 6 extra laps, but Bathurst also had no yellows. And yet somehow we go to Interlagos, an infinitely simpler track, and we are having more yellows than that. Well, I think I know Redwan and probably Alexander Brown will be going in. I did not expect Yoshi to go in, but... And I did not expect him to stay out. I figured the medium runners were going to do basically the same thing they did at Bathurst and just hurry up and vacate the tire. Or evacuate the tire, I should say. But no, instead the ones pitting are Yoshi, Itkunen, Jurgens, Ladimirak, and AJ. AJ pitting off the mediums, so that was kind of what I honestly expected the other medium runners to do. Now, nobody try to pass Rodrigo while he's warming his tires. We don't need that again. So, we should be going green this time. AJ is here, as is everybody else, so I think they'll just probably double up out of June Cell. Or right here. That works too. Never mind. Not right here. As I looked at JAT's cars, I had to ask myself for a second if they have McDonald's in Brazil. They have McDonald's literally everywhere. Riker. Are we not doubling up here? Did I just forget the procedure? I think I did. Yeah, we don't have that many yellows, so my brain forgot we don't double up for caution restarts. We only doubled up the one time because it was a waved off start. Oops. Let's see here. So whenever Rodrigo is ready, we will take off and return to racing speeds. And go. We are green. Accordion effect behind because I don't think Rodrigo really held the speed the best I've ever seen. I think he went from 55 down to 45, and then I'm sure we also probably had some assistance from a bit of latency from the likes of Jurgens back here. Probably jumped forward and smacked Itkunen or something, but I don't see any damage on anybody. It was just utter chaos. The fun track. I mean, there's a few of them on this game. I wouldn't say Interlagos is the most fun. I would probably rate, personally, Watkins Glen, Suzuka or Fuji higher myself. I know I sound like an alien for saying that, but I just am, really acquainted with Fuji and Suzuka. I think Suzuka isn't the one questionable one. Le Mans is only fun if it's multi-class. If you don't have multiple classes to worry about, that track is like 60% driving in a straight line. Everybody's basically single file. Oh, right, pits. I was like, how did Pat Maher get to 8th? Oh, every track is fun when you win at it. Take it from me, my singular ARC Formula 1 win came from the Mexican Grand Prix. I hate that track with a fiery passion. Doesn't change the fact that I won there. Yoshi is going to go around the outside of the Porsche to try and get back to 8th place. He didn't, he did pit on that cycle, so he'll be the first to try and recover. And the RG gives Itkinen an easy chance to get around the outside. He's going to also try and cross over his own teammate. Okay, I'm no longer humoring this conversation. You have lost your privileges, Ruz. Maher is dropping quickly. Robichaud has also claimed 10th from him, and he's basically back to where he started. A little bit above, but that's only because AJ hasn't passed him yet. AJ is too busy battling with Gary for 13th. But I think the Super will get the drive off there. Nathan Jurgens is twitching around in last. And meanwhile, yeah, no, there's still nothing going on at the front. We've got Yoshi, who's under threat from his teammate, but that's the most we got. That's the furthest front action we're seeing here, and that's not saying much. That's for 8th place. And sit on board with Luke Allen. We'll see if he can try and send one down the inside. Yeah, no kidding. He tried. Maher broke late. Just narrowly avoids contact, but we keep it spotless. I think the more apt description of that assessment is the front half of the field is single file, and the mid-pack is absolutely going to war. As AJ sends it down the inside of Luke Allen. Allen gets it all over that curb, and he is lucky to have saved that Alexis, but that's going to lose him a place to Vladimirak as well, and possibly to Nathan Jurgens. That one slide may put him down to last if he isn't diligent here, but I think he'll survive the Nathan Jurgens onslaught and stay in a mere 14th place for the moment. I can only make guesses as to your identity based on that information. AJ going through ahead of his former teammate, Pat Maher. That's about as straightforward as they get. Will Maher respond? He will. Down the inside he goes, back on the Toyota. Meanwhile, the other... Oh, boy. That is a huge tank slapper for Robichaud. He is stuck helplessly in the middle of the track, but he's ghosted, not that the spectator can see it. Also, I see. AC. I don't follow Assetto Corsa, so... I only pay attention to it when I have to do stewarding. Maher continuing to wage war against his former team owner. Pass completed, but that's an over-under. And Adrian Knickel will once again reclaim 10th. How is this the battle of the night thus far? Adrian Knickel versus Pat Maher for 10th place. I think Gary also got really badly thrown off by the madness there brought about by Robichaud spinning. Battery didn't ghost for him or something, and he had to actually physically take avoiding action. Yeah, the entire top 9 still not doing anything, so we'll just look back at, Luke Allen, who was about to attempt to pass Maher, but that decel penalty says otherwise. Also, he has rear bumper damage. No points for guessing why, though, because I'm sure that he's been lagged into by that 15 car. Mara's back on AJ Knickel after his half-second decel, so we're going to battle again. I don't trust the camera work here, so I hate to do this, but I am going to use chase cam to actually see what is going on, because the camera work at turn 1, 2, and 3 can be less than ideal sometimes. I don't like to use that camera anymore. I used to prefer it, but I have been told many times throughout my commentary career to not use it because it's just not realistic. I can go on board with Nathan Jurgens as he climbs the hill in pursuit of the Diet Coke machine. Diet Coke and McDonald's. Are we sure that these two teams aren't the ones that are partnered? That would have been perfect. Come on, we need to do that. Coca-Cola and McDonald's working, or like in an alignment or alliance. There we go. Oof, that is a hefty penalty for whatever Hunter did. Stop! Might give Ridwan a chance to actually battle for position. I know it's almost unheard of for these top-running cars this race to actually try and race. Well, it wasn't really a battle though, so crap. You needed a little less overspeed there, Ridwan. Oh boy, Hunter, you needed to use less of the racetrack, because that's not a line that's going to help you any. I do have Altman relatively close to his teammate, Heredia. I don't know if they'll really attempt for overtakes, though, considering they are teammates. And they might be... If it is an overtake, it'll probably be team orders, because maybe Altman has greater pace, and is like, hey, let me take a shot at the leader, who's got about 2.25 second advantage over them. Less of a lead than we saw at Bathurst, where we routinely were seeing, oh, what's the name? Crap. Matei, that's the name. Pulling out to like 5-6 second leads. Speed Hunter has another pen, so that'll take him well and truly away from Ridwan, so we'll look back to the same battle for 10th. Jurgens hangs onto the spot for the moment, but a line like that will not help him any. But he's also going to be incredibly difficult to pass because his car is jumping around the way that it is. We saw this last week with Khan. His internet is pretty much exactly the same. Only difference is I'm kind of confused because Jurgens' internet, last time I saw him, was much better than this, and he wasn't jumping around at all. At close quarters, over the start-finish line, is going to force Maher the long way round. Porsche just about tries to hold it there, tries to cut back, cannot produce anything though. It's hard to send a crossover on somebody when you don't even know exactly where they are. And now Luke Allen has major overspeed. He'll take a peek on the inside of the 911. And keeps the car there. Super aggressive braking at 4. They bang doors. Still too wide. This is going to be a difficult corner to go too wide through, though. This has got to get settled right here. Long way around. Never mind, Luke Allen is not quitting. He has to go the long way around a second time, though, and that will expire. So his attempts were thwarted by consecutive right-hand turns, but he's still definitely close enough to launch another attack. We had a lot of cars pitch us there. Heredia, Brown, Ridwan, and Hunter all went in on that lap, and I didn't even notice it because I was busy watching the fight for what would become 7th, but is a net 10th. That different strategy does mean that Altman is on a clear track. We'll see if he does indeed have more pace than his teammate, but considering Heredia currently holds the fastest lap of the race, I'm not sure, especially considering the state of Jackson Altman's right front is not great. Also, my god, that battle between Pat and Luke allowed Jurgens to get 2.5 seconds ahead. He also just went really fast in the previous lap, so he even made up a big amount of time on AJ Knickel on that lap. Now, the interesting part is that I'm fairly certain that these guys will be getting up to the likes of Vladimirak and Allen before these cars pit, especially since they're on mediums and they're going long. All 4 of them are. Heredia is also mediums, his are fresh. Actually, he doesn't have much fuel in the car. I don't think he put any in on that stop, so I think he will get up to him. It's going to take a while, though. But they'll be pitting again at around the same time. Allen is closing in. Might be looking at round 2 between the Porsche and the Lexus ECR versus CL7. He's just not going to be close enough. That would be maniacal dive bomb range, and despite Maher's defense, which is actually just going to be shooting himself in the foot, that is going to really hurt his run through the S's. And now Luke Allen undoubtedly has a chance. As Gary watches on half a second back, we'll see how this one shakes out. Luke once again trying the long way around as Maher refuses to give him any alternatives. Defensive driving is order of the day for the Porsche driver, but now Luke Allen finally has an inside lane, and it's curtains. He is up to 8th. I think I just saw Jurgens had a penalty up there, but I don't think it's going to do much when he's got 5 seconds ahead of the next car. Oh, that's Gary versus Luke down the hill. That's a sketchy place to go too wide. Oh, Gary is very, very wide, mowing some grass in that Corvette. Rigoletto pits, as do Altman and Itkinen. Yoshi didn't pit because he's on mediums, naturally, but Darius will now claim the race lead, on pit cycle anyway, with the right front tire that has really seen better days. I reckon that these cars aren't going in. I didn't really look at the lap counter for some reason. I don't know why I didn't just think about that. Yeah, no, the race is like close to being over. Where did Maher go? Oh, to the pit lane. Okay. I'm like, did he just disappear? Did he despawn? Is he a Minecraft bot? No, he went to the pits. Gary doesn't put up a huge fight against Rodrigo. I don't know if he even could, but if he could, I don't think he did. There just isn't a point. This is a different race altogether, pretty much. Yeah, Vladimirak pit early. I know he and Luke both did that. Rodrigo gets through at the final hairpin. That's going to open the door to the 25 car. Take a shot at the number 7. Probably not here. Oh, here. I mean, I guess this is their worst places, but that's still not the best call. But that is huge exit traction for that Corvette. That is going to be practically a done deal already. Corvette just absolutely did Luke Allen in. Luke is pitting again. Did he go from mediums to mediums or something? That's interesting. Darius goes in. Strategy is a little bit confusing, I must admit. I haven't kept track of who has and hasn't pit. Jurgens has caught Knickel. I did not expect that. That AMG is clearly pretty fast here, but passing cleanly when he's jumping around like that, this is going to be a little terrifying. I don't even... Yeah, AJ doesn't want any part of that. He lets him just get by. Vladimirak with clear track in terms of who he's officially battling. If I'm him, I don't really even put up much of a fuss right now. These guys are all front runners. They're only back here because they pit late, and Vladimirak pit under a safety car early. Yeah, he's staying wide. He's going to end up contesting Heredia anyway, just by accident, but he's braking early. He is trying to minimize time loss here, but it is very difficult as he is being swarmed by basically every fast driver on the racetrack at the moment, who have much better tires than him, as well as just being quicker drivers. And the chaos has also allowed things like this to happen. Ridwan peeking to the outside of the AMG GTR of... I almost said Jax. No, that's behind him. This is Heredia. And Vladimirak does have to pit. Okay, so I guess, yeah, that fuel tank does explain a lot. So a quick soft run for him. I don't really know what's going on with him then. If anything, I feel like I would have pit than the previous lap so as not to lose time being swarmed by all these fast cars. Ridwan claims the spot away from Heredia, whilst I was yapping about strategy and stuff. Imagine. Yoshi can get to the end, maybe. Same with Jurgens, maybe. I don't think AJ's got the fuel to make it to the end. Yeah, that strategy folly has put Vladimirak way out of contention for anything better than 15th. He's 3 seconds back from Robichaud. He lost 4 seconds, basically, in that pit cycle to Allen and to Maher. And the tire difference is not going to be enough to justify having done that. So that was not great. But these cars are in a train. They are fighting. And Vladimirak has clear road ahead. So, I don't know. I say those three cars are fighting, but I've seen more intense fights for the last slice of pizza. So... that's a unique line there, Ridwan. Wouldn't recommend taking that one. He's gonna get smacked with an entire second for his troubles there. That's gonna lose him a spot to Heredia for sure. And if Jackson Altman is quick enough, he can even get close enough to steal the spot from him at the braking point. Well, it's Brown versus Knickel, and God knows these two have a bit of history, so grab your popcorn. You can only imagine where this goes. You were trying to sneak down the inside while AJ is defending into the hairpin. My voice is trying to stop. It doesn't even hurt, it's just trying to get hoarse again, like I just woke up. Tries the outside at Jun Sao. AJ squeezes him a lot, forces the Nissan slightly into the dirt. There's Ridwan's D-Cell. Who is that? That's Heredia. Where did you get here from? What is that sentence construction? Was he here the whole time? Do IR is stupid? No, he had a penalty, I think. So Brown's gonna make up with the spot on Knickel, who is just letting cars go. Simply, they are not his battle, I think is what AJ Knickel has recognized in all of this, and the fact that he is massively fuel saving to try and get to the end, by the looks of his straight line performance here. Vladimirak is not making up time on anybody, so yeah, he is condemned to 15th. Pitting early under that safety car was absolutely not what he should have done. Yo, this is gonna be interesting. Yoshi, excuse me, Yoshi definitely seems poised to try going to the end, but can his fuel tank get him there? That's not a lot of fuel, and I can't imagine that V12 Aston Martin is exactly the most fuel-efficient car on the track. But then again, cylinder count doesn't mean everything. We have the V6-powered Supra being one of the worst in terms of fuel consumption, and then the V8, I think, RCF is the best. So, I don't know. Alexander Brown surrounded by McDonald's cars as we head to 5 laps to go for the first race of the night. Yeah, we're only halfway done here. Nicholas Itkinen for company. That is a destroyed Speed Hunter right there, looping it on the way out of the first turn. Giving us an entirely too clear view of the woman on the side of his car. At least when the NFR has anime characters on the side of the car, they're tastefully dressed. I might have to double check that. I don't know. I can't really tell because it's not the highest resolution image, but it looks a little, shall we say, not ARC friendly. NSFA, not safe for ARC. Altman has closed the distance on the Nissan. I don't know why my brain can't seem to remember the name of this car. The GTR R35. Can Slipstream take Altman to 5th position? It certainly can. Not much of a contest, methinks. No. Yeah, those softs have seen some better days. I didn't think they'd be losing too much pace at that level of wear, but well, maybe Altman is just the quicker car right now. Who's to say? Slipstream is not doing enough. He will not have a chance at responding. Lead is going down slightly, but I don't think Yoshi is necessarily concerned about the lead. 9.5 seconds with 3 laps and change to go. Perfectly suitable. The fuel tank is not perfectly suitable, and he's going to be losing more and more time as each lap passes in his attempts to not be sputtering over the finish line. And so we once again have Jackson Altman right on the tail of his teammate Heredia. Heredia, who himself is a little jumpy, not nearly as bad as their teammate Jurgens in the back, but at least something to keep an eye on. Also, that fuel tank is empty. Heredia, you have shot yourself in the foot strategy-wise again. And I don't think there's any way you get to the end from there. I'd be surprised if Altman can. Oh, nobody has the fuel, though. I mean, Rigoletto's fine. I'm assuming he would know how to calculate that, but... well, then again, if he's fine, then Yoshi's fine, right? Or are we going to see a Nathan Jurgens victory because he has slightly more fuel than everybody else in the top half of the field? Except for Ridwan, who's still got like a third of a tank. Holy cow. Moo! Moo to that, I say. Darius versus AJ. Glad I just happened to flick the camera down here. AJ has enough fuel to get to the end now, I would think. Even for the Supra, but he doesn't seem to be convinced. Also, despite his earlier spin, Hunter is getting his way back up to these two. 2 laps to go. There's the fuel indicator for the Aston Martin. That usually means you've got 2 laps to go. So I think he is okay if he keeps this current due course. Regalado, on the other hand, also has the fuel light on, so he's not any safer. Jurgens, however, has not seen it yet. Continuing where Nathan Jurgens started, this has been a very shocking turn of events for him in this race, that he's managed to possibly have a chance at a podium if his own teammate doesn't spoil it for him. Or Ridwan, who has a... Oh my lord, what did you do? Holy cow. Moo, again. Ridwan's just a cow. I'm going to slaughter him for beef and leather. Unhinged Striker, normal commentary at its absolute peak. Just try to ignore it. White flag will soon be in the air for Boriyoshi. Boriyoshi and his like 6% fuel maybe right now, if that. Leads 6 seconds in hand, but the next closest car to him isn't doing any better on fuel than he is. And then besides that, we have another battle on the horizon between, possibly, but anyway, but not likely, between a pair of J18 machines. Oh my god, Yoshi is hemorrhaging time, but he has it in the back of his hand anyway, he might as well use it all, right? Darius still unable to find an answer for the 47 car. Despite the much better tires, Darius cannot get it done. He's going to have a couple more braking zones to get it done, but it's going to be difficult no matter how you spin it. But that is the final real turn. So now, so long as we don't hear that engine quit, Boriyoshi should be climbing up this hill to take a victory from Interlagos. 4 seconds over Rodrigo Regalado. That used to be 11, but all that matters is that he is the first person to get here. Regalado with second place, despite leading much of the early half of the race. Yoshi with strategy to achieve that. It's a drag race to the finish line for a pair of AMGs, but Jurgens will hang on to a podium finish, followed by Jackson Altman, then Ridwan, then Aitkonen. Alexander Brown will be putzing along to 7th position with AJ not too far away. Darius is actually the one who's going to run out of fuel, and he's going to lose 9th to Hunter, who is also out of fuel. Already disappointing 11th. His strategy absolutely failed. Robichaud has stolen 12th. Luke Allen is out of fuel. How do you run out of fuel on a Lexus? They're both out of fuel, coasting to the line. Maher 13th. And Ladimirak, last of the runners, with a strategy call that I would question. He stayed out a little bit too long, to say the least. Well, that was fun. Let's do it again after I give my voice a break. I'm assuming he has left to fix his internet or something. going on? Wait, was this an enduro the entire time? Am I stupid? Either there's a lobby issue or... what's going on here? I am confusion. Confusion. That's what Adam Palk won the consolation race, but why did like 4 people leave? Oh, okay. I didn't even see notification that he returned, but it looks like his internet is a lot more stable. Are we doing a bump draft test for the latency? So what's going on here? Ugh. Oh, the sprint race is shorter. That sounds stupid to say out loud, but we had 2 equally long races in ATCC, so I didn't actually remember how it worked. Oh, I can unplug my tablet. So I guess, other than Jurgens, who left to try and fix his internet, which seems to have worked, I guess Hunter and Gary just got confused and thought there was only the one race. Oh, just realized this isn't on the screen. the heck even is this symbol? Why did Logan respond with an otter? It's the most random emoji you could have picked for that. There's just utter chaos at the moment because I could have gone to the bathroom during this whole time. There's just utter chaos because we had a handful of drivers leave thinking that there was no sprint race. And now we're trying to, well, A, either tell them that there is another race, a 12-lap sprint, or B, call up drivers from the Constellation race to fill the field for this one. But even the Constellation race drivers, other than Adam Pelk, who has just won it, were no-shows. So Deshaun Davis is here, but they're also saying Gary's coming back, but he also just told me directly as his team owner that he's not coming back, so I'm very lost. People did not read the check-in addendum clearly that obviously stated that there was a 12-lap sprint race where the top 6 are being randomized. They didn't seem to get randomized too much, by the looks of things. Literally just, like, flipped Rodrigo and Yoshi, and then I think flipped, actually, yeah, no, put Ridwan ahead of Altman. That's all that changed. Thank God this is shorter. I don't think I could take another 24 laps. I mean, I could, but some parts of my body could not. Particularly my voice, and also apparently my stomach, which is still really uncomfy right now, but I'm just kind of having to sit through it, literally. I feel like I've said this a few times, but we are doubled up, and as soon as Regalado hits the throttle, the sprint race will be underway. You gotta work on that, pal. That's confusing everybody. If it's confusing me, it's probably confusing drivers, too. You just get off the gas right before flooring. It's not maintaining a consistent speed. And you can get penalized for that. But only if it causes a stack up, which somehow this time it didn't do, and we seem to be away pretty cleanly this time. Camera, I couldn't tell who was... Somebody was dive bombing or trying to pass there, and I couldn't tell who it was because the camera was just like, oh, but what's over there? Man, forget what's over there. Look at the race. Jurgens, or really Yoshi, has just fallen off, actually. He's been overtaken both by Jurgens and by Redwan on the first lap alone. Basically the first sector alone. Oh, we got Altman versus Yoshi now. He might lose a third spot if he isn't careful. But Altman's going to be forced the very long way around, and that was just never going to have... He was never going to have a chance there. We are under a safety car again. What in the world? Well, presumably it's Itkonen, because he's back here in 15th. I have completely missed what has happened. Alright, no more angry Discord messages. I need to get back to commentary here. We're about to go back to green. Already a pit. I suppose he's in the back, you might as well, right? Why are you on mediums, Davis? Why are we fanning out like that? We are green again. We have cars in the back doing third. I'm not really sure what's going on. Rigoletto is home free. Jurgens was not prepared. I need to stop looking at these AMGs. I'm getting hungry just looking at them. Kaneko versus Brown again. Looks like the Super's gonna just squeeze ahead. Boy. Washed out under the curb. That's going to allow Brown to squeeze back through on AJ Kaneko, though, so... yeah. Immediate response time. That's an attempt there, Darius. I'm not sure about that. That door got closed promptly. But now he gets down the inside on the way out of the long right-hander, and he will be up to 8th. Brown has a 1 second penalty. A full second. How did you do that in this section of the track? That has not been the corner exit that Jurgens needed, and I think this is going to be business as usual for that 14 car. Has to make a lane change as Jurgens defends the inside, but I don't really think there was much point in doing that. Oh, there actually was. His run stalled out. I forgot the Aston Martin is not the straight line monster here that it is in P-Cars 2. They remain too wide all the way down the S's. And throughout most of turn 3, nope, pass still not done. Ridwan using some extra racetrack. And that's what it takes. And his teammate follows him through. So now Yoshi is fending off Jurgens. Here comes Jackson Altman to make it a 2v2. Actually, just Altman passing Jurgens instead. The pace he had, he didn't really have pace, he had strategy. So, actually, yeah, that makes sense. Sending it down the inside of Yoshi. Maybe a little bit swatting him out of the way, but I don't think I'd call that egregious. Just, yeah, big slide for Yoshi. So Altman up a spot. Yoshi returns the favor. He will send it at the next opportunity, but he will achieve nothing. Ambush tactics from JAT. That's going to get him to third. Oh, Ridwan is backwards. That was close. Never mind, that's going to get him to second. Yoshi will not be close enough to formulate a response here. He'll get right up to his bumper, but this is not overtaking range. He's going to need a much better run out of 3 to have a shot at claiming second back from him. Brown versus Luke Allen. He's down quite a ways after at least one penalty that I saw him get. I don't know if he's gotten more than that whilst the camera was looking away or what, but Ridwan down to 13th after his mistake. And Robichaud is having a forgettable race. I don't know what happened to him, but he is running last, distantly. And it looks like Rodrigo has got this one in hand, basically. Unless he does something catastrophic. He doesn't seem like the type, though. So we're just going to keep an eye on this battle between Yoshi and the McDonald's machines and see how things develop from here. And we'll see if they start fighting, if that allows the third McDonald's car, accompanied by a Nissan in the form of Darius, to join in. Doesn't seem like it, though. They don't seem like they're in any hurry to try and swap places again. It doesn't much seem like anybody is, having said that. Well, we might see some here. Itkonen's got quite a bit of overspeed on that Diet Coke machine. Alongside, just barely keeps the splitter in, sends it on the brakes, parking the bus, but Maher's not deterred. He is, however, going the long way around, and that's difficult at turn 3, which has also allowed Brown to follow him through. So Maher loses 2 places after being sent into turn 1. Not sent literally, but you know what I mean. Lick the stamp and send it, not sent off. Well, that's a half second. That's going to cripple you a little bit. Going to put you right behind Heredia, who's on your bumper. Oh. Ah. Neck, again. Almost said not broadcast words because of that. That was really not comfortable at all. I did not enjoy that. That has been a incredibly strong hairpin for Altman there. That's exactly what he needs to stay safe going on to the front stretch here. Yoshi just cannot seem to find the momentum on these corner exits, which is kind of exactly what you always need if you're ever going to get done a pass. What? Get a pass done. Rikerism for you. At Interlagos, you need to get good traction off of a previous turn. before you can even think about making an overtake. That could be something. Brown versus Itkinen, but he doesn't have the runoff that he needed to try and get by here. Ridwan up to 11th. He can maybe get back to 9th or 10th, 8th or 9th, but I think that's about as high as Ridwan can climb here with what's left in this race. That engine sounded weird. At Pelk versus Allen, two veterans of the midfield, so to speak. Because, yeah, this series is in such a way that I feel like even running in 13th is midfield. Just because there's like 10 or 8 or 9 cars every week that are considered front runners, which is nothing like F1, which uses that same thing. I would say it's 7 or 8 actually. Jurgens isn't normally up here, and he's just having a breakout weekend here from Interlagos, finishing 3rd in the feature, running 5th in the sprint, and relatively safely at that. That's a line. I don't know if the game is gonna let that slide. I guess it did. That looked like a cut to me, but that could have just been the camera perspective. Oh, that's a bit of a concertina effect at the braking zone there. I thought that was going to be a collision, but it wasn't. Let's see what Brown sees as we head up the hill. 4.5 laps to go in the race. Oh, he's going to try and sneak a bumper up there on Itkinen. My lungs are giving out on me here. It happens when I talk too much too early in the day. Or, you know, too early after waking up anyway. Too early in the day. Riker, it is like 8 o'clock. Just took a nap. And set your alarm an hour later than you tried to because you have big thumbs and you didn't hit the right button. They are literally breaking even on the straight, so we will not be seeing any action there. We're there. Yoshi has closed the gap. We'll see if there's anything he can do about Jackson Altman with 4 to go here. Not immediately. Holy brakes, Batman. That'll help a little. Except then Altman's gonna get a better run off, so no, it isn't. Jurgens is fending for his life against Darius in the Nissan. We have a lot of cars close together because we've only been running for 8 laps, but nobody's gotten anything definitive as to instigate a passing opportunity. But I mean, Brown couldn't be much closer to Knickel. And we'll see if their history persists into Group 3 Masters. If you know, you know. I'm not going to sit here and divulge everything. Sudden defense, sudden lane switching around the outside. Brown will attempt. Finds himself stuck mounting the curbs. Still somehow has just enough momentum to stay there. And here comes Jonas Itkinen, taking full advantage of the chaos. Split it 3 wide down the front straightaway. AJ Knickel's in the middle, and he is being absolutely mugged. Through goes Eunice, possibly, but he has to get it done under braking too. 3 wide into turn 1. The Senna S's watch absolute melee. Ikkinen's going to get the pair of them. AJ Knickel is going to lose big time in that encounter. Brown's still in with a chance. He's still 2/10 back, or less. All it takes is one good turn, and you could send that Nissan right down the inside. They have very different approaches at this, turn 6, excuse me. At turn 6, that is a lot of grass. The Nissan doesn't appreciate it, but somehow he's made off with 7th with that one. More grass. Sudden Ridwan. Did not think he would be possibly in with a chance for 7th, but I also didn't think we'd be seeing a 3-car free-for-all with just over 2.5 laps to go. Now it's basically just under 2 laps, or just over 2 laps. And for the leader, it isn't. Or it is 2 laps. We've also got Heredia bump drafting Altman. I don't know how he would have gotten ahead of Yoshi, but that's going to be an overtake attempt on his team owner. Around the outside, this is a shocking turn of events. Altman lets it go. No, he just cuts him back. And Yoshi is graciously accepting this invitation to get involved. I don't know where to look. Oh, we look at the dying Ridwan there as he's trying to make his way through, but this is a battle for 2nd place between teammates. Altman is wide. Yoshi has arrived. He's going to sneak through and grab 3rd from that mistake. Altman's going to get a penalty even though he very clearly lost time and a position on the track. That's a GT7 moment right there. Alright, this is spread out again, so we will just look back to the battle for 2nd. We're just about to lose a competitor as Altman has been penalized for an error. GT7 did not like what it saw a minute ago. Yoshi, I don't know if I would have used that line personally. Altman may be getting penalized, but he can still be an obstacle for Yoshi to help his teammate get away. And that is exactly what he has done. He has bought Heredia about half a second. And the Aston did not get the runoff it needed, so I think that is going to spell the end of that bout. And these guys are too spread out. They're all 7/10 apart, perfectly split. White flag flies. Rodrigo is in a different zip code, and we've only done about 10 green flag laps. And that was, this is the last of the good opportunities for Yoshi, so unless Heredia misses a turn, he can't possibly run out of fuel like he's usually so good at doing, because we only did a 12-lap race. AJ's defending from Ridwan. I kind of had a feeling we'd see something back here at least, so they both went wide, and they both basically played a gambit with the outside curbing. Yep, there's nothing doing there. Heredia is away safely. And it was hardly contested. Rodrigo Regalado, with one more kink on the front straightaway to negotiate, will make a statement with this victory in the sprint race. 11-second deficit at the line. We didn't even do 11 green laps in this race. He was gaining on average 1 second per lap. Heredia hangs on to 2nd, Yoshi 3rd. And Jackson Altman slowing down over the line for 4th. Then Jurgens, it's a 2.45 for JAT. A drag race to the line. AJ Knickel by 600th stays ahead of the Australian. Ridwan with a sprint race to forget, we'll say. And Robichaud, even more so, would like to just forget that this sprint race had ever happened. And then Deshawn will run out the field some ways away in P15. But with that, whilst Deshawn sprints to the finish line, that will do it for ARC Group 3 Masters this evening. I am in my throat and stomach have had about enough of me. And so hopefully I'll be in better shape this time next week for another 2-round event at Suzuka, which will be interesting. Suzuka's not a place you pass very easily, but nevertheless, shoutouts to the Racing Rats, our mod partners for Assetto Corsa, as well as to our title sponsor, DIVEBOMB Motorsport. Is that part of the term? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. DIVEBOMB Motorsport news outlet on most social media platforms. My voice is dead. I'm hungry. I'm dying over here. So I will sign off and see you this time next week.